Final boarding. Are they closing? Why is the door still open? Have your passes ready.
Seat 1A. One moment, sir.
We're already late.
I can wait. Seat 1A.
Passport, please.
Here.
Payment matches.
And the flight?
Still open.
Then scan it.
Scanning now.
Green?
Green. Can we move? Please wait.
Give me that pass.
It verified.
I said give it.
Why?
Secondary review.
For what?
Step aside.
My documents match.
They do. Not another word.
Then
You're not stepping onto this aircraft.
why?
His pass is valid. Stay out of this.
What does people like me mean?
You heard me.
Say it clearly. Repeat the reason.
I already did.
Not on the record.
Turn those phones off. No, this is private.
You made it public.
Security is coming.
Good. I think.
What happened?
He refuses to comply.
With what instruction?
Stop talking. We all saw green.
Did he threaten anyone?
He challenged me.
That is not a threat.
Close the door.
Now, end this now. State the official reason. You are not boarding. Whose decision? Mine.
It's recorded.
Review the green scan.
Repeat that.
Is mine alone.
Thank you.
Close the gate. He's not getting back on. The order cut through the terminal as dozens of passengers watched a black man stand beside his worn leather briefcase, his first-class boarding pass crushed in one hand. He had shown the ticket. He had shown identification. Still, the supervisor called him a problem. Why did no one question the seat they had taken from him? Why did the quiet traveler refuse to raise his voice? Then he asked for one phone call and gave the clerk a number no ordinary passenger would know. Minutes later, federal agents entered the gate area. Stay until the end, because the reason they came would change far more than one flight. The gate door clicked shut at 8:17 p.m. "Sir, step away from the counter." Grant Hale kept one palm flat on the desk, blocking the terminal screen. Beside him, Nolan Briggs moved closer, his security badge catching the ceiling light. The boarding area smelled of burnt coffee and rain from wet coats. Beyond the glass, the aircraft's red beacon blinked over the runway. Marcus Reed did not move. His worn leather briefcase rested against his shoe. In his right hand, the first-class boarding pass was crushed into a white knot. "I asked for a written explanation," he said. "You were removed for non-compliance," Grant replied. "The flight is closed." "I complied with every instruction." "You argued with the crew." "I asked where my paid seat had gone." Passengers stood near the windows, phones lowered, but still recording. No one spoke. A vending machine hummed behind them. Two people entered through the security corridor. Lena Ortiz, 43, wore a dark, rain-speckled coat, her silver-streaked hair pulled tight. Malcolm Price, 50, followed with rimless glasses and a black document case. Neither hurried. "Who is responsible for this gate?" Lena asked. Grant lifted his chin. "I am. We've handled the disturbance." "What disturbance?" "That passenger refused a seat reassignment." Marcus's thumb pressed one crease from the boarding pass. Lena glanced at the closed jet bridge. "Was he already aboard?" "For several minutes." "And removed by whom?" Nolan answered. "My team." He became confrontational. Malcolm opened his case on an empty chair. "Preserve all video from this gate, the jet bridge, and the cabin entrance." Grant laughed once. "You can't seize company records." "No one said seize," Malcolm replied. "I said preserve." The laugh vanished. Lena faced Marcus. "Did they retain any property?" "My seat," he said. "Nothing else." "Were your documents returned?" "They never took them. They declined to verify them." Grant cut in. "He flashed some credential after removal. That doesn't excuse his behavior." Marcus flattened another crease. The paper crackled in the quiet. "What credential?" Lena asked. "I didn't examine it." "Did anyone?" Nolan folded his arms. "We aren't required to authenticate every card waved during a dispute." Malcolm turned to the young employee behind the printer. "Name?" "Mia Benton." She was 27, with a loose braid and a blue ink mark along her hand. "Was his seat valid when he boarded?" Her eyes moved to Grant. "Mia," Malcolm said, "look at me." The printer released a blank sheet with a mechanical sigh. "It scanned green," she whispered. Grant pivoted. "The system corrected later." "Corrected itself?" Lena asked. "No, I reviewed the inventory." "At what time?" "I'd have to check." "Don't touch the monitor," Malcolm said. Outside, the aircraft began to push back. Marcus watched its nose turn from the terminal. His hand stopped for 1 second. Then he opened the pass and laid it on the counter, smoothing the final fold with his thumb. Seat 2. A remained visible. Lena studied the timestamp, then looked at Grant. Who ordered this man removed from the aircraft? No one answered, but Mia's gaze dropped to the keyboard. 6 hours earlier, Marcus stood alone in his chambers while rain tapped the windows. Jonah Ellis, his 32-year-old court clerk, leaned in the doorway. "Your car is downstairs." Marcus folded his black robe and laid it across the chair. "Cancel it." Jonah frowned. "The driver?" "I'm taking the airport shuttle." "You have a protection detail for a reason." "I also have a daughter who asked me not to arrive with 3 people checking the room before I sit down." Jonah exhaled. "The last flight leaves at 8:40. "I know." "You finish here after 5. Traffic is bad." "I know that too." Marcus reached for the leather journal beside the lamp. A photograph slipped from between the pages. Camilla in a yellow coat. Ava at 11 pressed against her side. He pushed it back carefully. His phone vibrated. "Dad?" Ava said. "Tell me you're not still in court." He glanced at the order. "I'm standing." That was not the question. Jonah turned away to hide a smile. "I'm signing the last page," Marcus said. "You promised." "I remember. You said front row, not the back wall, not a video call from a car. Front row." Something scraped across the floor on her end. "What was that?" "My reserved chair." "You reserved a chair?" "I made a card." "What does it say?" "Reserved for Dad." "Very formal." He closed his eyes for 1 beat. The office smelled of paper, cold coffee, and cedar oil from the old desk Camilla had chosen. "Ava, don't get sentimental. Just get on the plane." "I will." Her voice softened. "Mom's name is first on the program." Marcus looked toward the framed photograph near the bookshelf from the day he took his oath. "I know." "I don't want to read that part while looking at an empty seat." "You won't." The line stayed open, filled by distant voices. "Front row?" she asked again. "Front row." After the call, Marcus signed the order and checked the time. 5:14 p.m. Jonah lifted the garment bag. "At least take the coat." Marcus slipped on a charcoal coat and covered his silver watch with the cuff. He packed 1 white shirt, the journal, and Camilla's photograph into the oxblood briefcase. "You should let me call the airline," Jonah said. "They can flag the reservation. No special handling. Not special. Accurate." Marcus fastened the brass clasp. "If the ticket is valid, that should be enough." Jonah did not answer. At 5:22, the elevator opened to the lobby. Marcus waited until the green indicator above the empty security desk went dark, then stepped into rain. Mist darkened his shoulders. Inside, he sat beside a fogged window while downtown lights stretched across the glass. He opened the Airline app. First class. 2A on time. A message from Ava appeared beneath the boarding pass. I put Mom's photo on the podium. Marcus touched the screen with 2 fingers, then locked the phone. At 6:41, the shuttle reached Calder International. The terminal glowed against the wet pavement, and the automatic doors breathed out warm air carrying cinnamon, floor cleaner, and jet fuel. He stepped onto the curb, briefcase in hand, and checked the departure time above the entrance. 1 hour and 59 minutes remained between him and the chair his daughter had saved. At 6:48 p.m., Marcus set his briefcase beside the priority counter. "Boarding pass and identification," the agent said. Her tag read, MIA Benton. 27, loose braid, blue ink along one hand. The scanner chirped. "Seat 2A. You're all set, Mr. Reed." A green confirmation filled the screen. Before Marcus could take back his documents, a hand covered the monitor. Grant Hale stood behind Mia in a gray suit, his badge perfectly straight. His polished smile never softened his eyes. "Run it again." "It cleared," Mia said. "I heard it." She scanned the pass. Green again. Grant tapped the keyboard. "Payment verification." "The ticket was purchased 3 weeks ago," Marcus said. "We've had fraudulent upgrades." "This isn't an upgrade." "Then it won't take long." Behind Marcus, a silver-haired woman shifted her suitcase. She had been greeted by name and admitted after one scan. Lavender and rain clung to her coat. Mia typed, "Payment confirmed." "Identification again," Grant said. The woman spoke. "You already checked his." Grant turned. "Routine security, ma'am." "It wasn't routine for me." A boarding announcement cracked overhead. Marcus held out his hand. "My identification." Grant returned it between 2 fingers. "Traveling for business?" "That isn't a requirement." "I'm trying to help." "Then tell me what failed." The printer clicked behind them. Mia said, "Nothing failed." Grant leaned across her screen and pressed several keys. An amber symbol appeared beside Marcus's reservation. "What did you add?" Marcus asked. "Secondary review." "On what basis?" "Manager discretion." Mia turned. "Mr. Hale, take your break." "My break is at 7:15. "It is now." She withdrew her hands. The ink on her skin had smeared across her knuckle. The older woman stepped closer. "I'm Ruth Delaney. I saw his pass work." "Mrs. Delaney, your group has been called." Ruth looked toward the jet bridge, then at Marcus. For a second, she seemed ready to remain. Instead, she gripped her suitcase handle. "I hope they fix this." "So do I." She walked through the gate. Mia vanished into the staff corridor, then returned without a coat or bag. She stopped beside the printer, close enough to watch, but too far to object privately. Grant slid back the pass. "You may board. The cabin crew will finish the review." "The review you just created?" His smile thinned. "Do you want this flight?" Marcus folded the pass along its crease. Ava's message waited on his phone. "Front row. Don't forget." "Yes." At the jet bridge checkpoint, another agent scanned him. Green appeared instantly. She read the amber note. "Manager review?" "Apparently." "Your ticket is valid." "Then why is the note there?" Her gaze moved past him toward Grant. "You'll have to ask him." "I did." The jet bridge vibrated beneath rolling bags. Rain ticked against narrow windows, and the air cooled near the aircraft door. Ruth stood several places ahead without turning. At 7:31, Marcus reached the cabin entrance. A senior flight attendant checked the screen, then his face. "Mr. Reed?" "Yes." Her gaze settled on the amber symbol. Behind her, seat 2A waited beside the window, empty. "Mr. Reed?" "Yes." The senior flight attendant held out her hand. "Boarding pass, please." Marcus gave it to her. Her tag read, Claire Voss. Copper hair pinned into a smooth twist, a gold pen clipped to her vest. She scanned the pass, watched the green light appear, then scanned it again. "Is there a problem?" "Just confirming the assignment." Suitcase wheels knocked against the jet bridge seams. Warm air carried coffee and damp wool. Claire returned the pass. "Seat 2A. Marcus placed his briefcase beneath the seat ahead and folded his wet coat across his knees. Camilla's photograph had slipped halfway from the journal. He pressed it back between the pages and fastened the clasp. Rain threaded across the window. He sat and reached for the belt. "Sir." Claire stood in the aisle again. "I need to see your boarding pass." "You checked it at the door." "I'm checking it here." A man across the aisle lowered his newspaper. Ruth Delaney sat 2 rows behind. Marcus took out the pass. "What changed in 30 seconds?" "Nothing. This is verification." "Are you verifying every passenger?" Claire's fingers remained extended. "Your pass, sir." He handed it over. "How did you purchase this ticket?" "Through the airline website." "With points?" "With a card." "Was it transferred?" "No." Her eyes moved from his coat to the worn briefcase. "Why are you asking?" Before she answered, Grant appeared at the aircraft door. Behind him waited a broad-shouldered man in a navy jacket. Gabriel Wynne checked his watch. "Mr. Wynne was promised 2A. Claire glanced at Marcus. "The seat is occupied." "Then correct it." Gabriel looked toward the runway. "I have a connection in Seattle." Marcus clicked the belt into place. Claire approached him again. "Mr. Reed, there appears to be an assignment conflict." "There was no conflict when I boarded." "We may need to relocate you." "To which seat?" "I'm checking." "Is another first-class seat available?" Claire looked toward Grant. "The main cabin has options," he said. The newspaper across the aisle stopped rustling. Marcus rested both hands on the belt, its woven edge pressed into his palm. "I paid for this seat." "Mr. Wynne is one of our highest-tier travelers," Grant replied. "That does not cancel my ticket." Gabriel shifted. "I was told this was handled." Claire's mouth tightened. "Give us 1 minute." Marcus lifted the buckle, but did not release it. "Show me the record stating my seat was canceled." Grant stepped into the cabin. "The system is updating." "Then wait until it finishes." "We cannot delay departure." "You are delaying it now." A soft chime sounded overhead. Passengers farther back leaned into the aisle. Ruth rose halfway from her seat. His pass scanned green at the counter. Grant turned. "Please remain seated, ma'am." She lowered herself, one hand gripping the headrest. Claire looked at Marcus again. Her voice softened. "Sir, please don't make this harder." Marcus held out the pass, now marked by 3 creases. "I am sitting in the seat printed on this paper," he said. "Tell me who decided that was the difficult part." Grant reached toward Claire. "Take the pass," he said. "I'll change the record." Grant reached past Claire and took the boarding pass. "Do not alter that record," Marcus said. "Seat control is internal." The tablet chimed beneath Grant's thumb. A new line appeared under 2A seat reassigned, 7:36 p.m. Marcus looked at the cabin clock. It read 7:35. "You entered that after I boarded. I corrected an inventory error." "What error?" "The seat was reserved for a priority customer." Gabriel shifted in the doorway. "Put me somewhere else." "There is nowhere else in first class," Grant said. Claire lowered her voice. "Mr. Reed, we can offer compensation." "For what?" "The inconvenience." "You still haven't explained it." A cold draft moved through the open door. Passengers searched menus without speaking. Mia appeared at the end of the jet bridge, holding a strip of paper. "The transaction log printed." Claire stepped closer. "What does it show?" Seat 2A was valid when he boarded. The reassignment was manual. The ventilation fan filled the pause. Grant held out his hand. "Give me the log." She hesitated, then surrendered it. Blue ink stained her knuckles. He folded the paper over the timestamp. Manual action is normal when inventory fails to synchronize. Marcus extended his hand. May I see it? No. Company material. It concerns my reservation. Claire touched her pen. Grant, call operations. We are operations at this gate. Gabriel's phone buzzed. My meeting moved. I'll take the morning flight. You asked us to protect your seat, Grant said. I asked whether my upgrade cleared. I never asked you to remove him. Across the aisle, a newspaper folded. Ruth leaned forward. Your seat is ready now, Grant said. I don't want it now. Gabriel walked back onto the jet bridge. Claire faced Grant. Then 2A stays with Mr. Reed. Marcus reached for his pass. Grant kept it. I need that returned. You'll receive a new one. I did not request one. Grant tapped the terminal. The green icon beside Marcus's name turned amber, then gray. Mia froze. You canceled his segment. I protected the departure. Undo it. Go back to the desk. She remained beside the printer. Marcus opened the original confirmation on his phone. Purchase date, authorization code, seat assignment, boarding scan. None of this supports what you did. The electronic record controls, Grant said. The record you changed while I watched. A warning chime sounded twice from the cockpit. Rain drummed against the window. Grant, Claire said, we need the door closed. We have a decision. Mr. Reed is no longer ticketed. Marcus looked at the gray icon and the paper hidden in Grant's fist. Provide the written reason. Operational necessity. That is a category, not an explanation. Nolan Briggs appeared in the doorway in a dark security jacket. Do we have a refusal? Grant answered before Claire could. Yes. Marcus's fingers tightened once around his phone, then relaxed. I have refused nothing. Nolan looked at the open briefcase and the waiting passengers. Sir, gather your belongings. Claire's pen clicked beneath her thumb. Mia stared at the folded transaction log. Behind Grant, seat reassigned, glowed with a timestamp that had not existed when Marcus sat down. Sir, gather your belongings. Marcus unfastened the belt. The metal tongue struck the armrest with a click. No one moved. Cold air pushed through the open door. I will leave, Marcus said, but I want the reason in writing. Grant folded the transaction log into his palm. Customer relations will contact you. That is not a written reason. Nolan stepped into the row. Do not prolong this. Marcus bent for the briefcase. Its clasp caught on the seat frame. When he freed it, the lid opened and his journal slid sideways. Camilla's photograph slipped out, turned once, and landed face up in the aisle. The cabin went still. Then a suitcase wheel pressed onto the photograph's lower corner. Marcus crouched. Wait, said a man behind Ruth. He was 31, thin, with dark curls. His phone was recording. He lifted the suitcase and picked up the photograph by its clean edge. Here. Marcus accepted it. Camilla's yellow coat was creased across the shoulder. 11-year-old Ava still smiled beneath the wheel mark. Thank you. I'm Eli Harper. I recorded everything. Grant turned. Recording crew activity may violate policy. Then show me the policy. Sit down. Eli pointed the camera toward the folded paper in Grant's hand. Is that the log she printed? Mia stared at the floor. Nolan extended an arm toward the jet bridge. Mr. Reed, now. Marcus slid the photograph into his coat. His fingers missed the button once. He tried again. Claire moved aside beside the galley wall. I'm sorry this became difficult, she said. Marcus stopped. It did not become difficult by itself. Whispers followed him into the aisle. A woman raised her phone. Ruth stood, gripping the headrest. This is wrong, she said. Grant pointed toward her seat. Mrs. Delaney, we are closing the door. You checked him twice. Please sit down. Ruth looked at Marcus, then lowered herself into the leather seat. The jet bridge was colder than the cabin. Nolan walked close enough for his sleeve to brush Marcus's coat. At the gate, you will remain calm, Nolan said. I am calm. You disrupted a scheduled departure. I sat in my assigned seat. You challenged staff instructions. I asked for facts. Nolan's jaw tightened. One more argument, and I'll document refusal to comply. Marcus stopped halfway up the sloped bridge. Rain tapped the windows. Are you saying that asking what rule I violated will become the violation? Keep moving. Grant followed behind, speaking into his radio. Passenger removed. Seat released. Close on time. Mia came last. Near the midpoint, she let a fresh strip of printer paper fall beside the wall. It landed printed side down. Marcus saw it. So did Eli, filming from the aircraft doorway before Claire pulled the curtain. At 7:44, Marcus crossed into the terminal. Nolan stood between him and the desk, while Grant handed Mia the altered pass. Reprint the removal code, Grant ordered. Mia did not touch the keyboard. Behind them, the aircraft door began to close. Marcus pressed one hand over the photograph inside his coat. Through the glass, seat 2A stood empty beside the rain-streaked window. Then his phone vibrated with a voice message from Ava. Ava's voice began beneath the boarding announcement. Dad, I'm testing the microphone. Listen. A chair scraped across a polished floor. I moved yours closer to the aisle. Front row, like you promised. Marcus stood beside the gate desk, pressing the bent photograph against his chest. Rain silvered the windows. Nolan pointed toward the plastic seats. Sit there until the report is finished. What report? Your removal. I asked for a written reason. You'll receive one through the proper channel. Grant leaned over Mia's terminal. Coded as disruptive conduct. Mia's fingers hovered above the keys. He wasn't disruptive. Code it. Marcus replayed the message. Ava's voice returned, softer. Mom's photo is on the podium. I wish you could see the room. It ended with distant applause as the jet bridge retracted. Marcus checked the clock. 7:48 p.m. When does the next flight leave? Tomorrow at 9:10. The ceremony starts at 10:30. That is not our responsibility. Mia glanced at the monitor. There's a connection through Denver at 8:15. Full. You didn't check. Marcus stepped forward. Please check. Nolan blocked him. Back up. I'm trying to reach my daughter. Passengers watched without speaking. A child rolled a toy airplane along an armrest until his mother covered it. Mia reopened the reservation window. One seat is showing. Grant pressed the power button. The screen went black. Your shift is over. It isn't. It is now. Its red beacon swept across Marcus's face, vanished, then returned. Cold air leaked around the window frame. Ova called. Are you on board? I'm at the gate. A pause. Someone tested a piano chord behind her. Delayed? They closed the flight. But you were there. Yes. Dad, what happened? They decided my ticket mattered less than someone else's expectation. Can they fix it? Not tonight. The chair scraped again on Ava's end. It's okay, she said too quickly. I'll ask someone to record it. I'm sorry. You promised. His fingers slipped on his coat button. He tried twice, then stopped. Ava, they're calling me backstage. I'm proud of you. I know. The line ended. The plane's lights joined a white chain beyond the rain and disappeared. Nolan approached with a tablet. Sign to acknowledge removal. Marcus read the form. It says I threatened staff. That is the report. It is false. Note your disagreement and sign. Grant folded his arms. Or security escorts you out. Marcus placed the tablet on the counter. Preserve the gate video. Grant laughed once. You don't direct our procedures. Marcus took out his identification wallet. Then perhaps someone else should. He opened it beneath the fluorescent light, revealing the federal seal Grant had refused to examine. Mia's face changed first. Marcus dialed the court security office and gave his judicial code, gate number, and flight. Do you need immediate protection? The operator asked. Not yet. What do you need? Marcus looked at the dark monitor where his seat record had disappeared. Preserve everything, he said, before someone decides to erase it. Preserve everything, Marcus repeated. The operator's voice sharpened. Confirm your location. Calder International, Gate C14, Flight 618. Remain there. Do not surrender your identification or phone. Grant stared at the federal seal. That card gives you no authority over an airline. It identifies me. It could identify anyone. Mia glanced at the dark terminal. Mr. Hale, the seal matches. You are not trained to verify federal credentials. Nolan stepped closer, his rubber soles squeaking on the polished floor. Put the wallet away. Why? You're escalating this. I opened identification after you wrote a false report. You're using it to intimidate staff. Marcus lowered the wallet. Then verify it. We are not calling every number a passenger gives us. The number is printed on the reverse. Grant reached for the card. Marcus moved it back 1 inch. You may read it. You may not take it. A coffee grinder screamed from the closed cafe across the concourse, then stopped. Rain tapped the glass like fingernails. Mia powered the terminal back on. Grant spun toward her. I told you to leave. The system is signed in under my name. Log out. She typed before he reached the keyboard. Marcus's name appeared. Her eyes widened. There's an official court page. Grant leaned over her shoulder. On screen, Marcus wore a black robe. That proves nothing about tonight. It proves who he is, Mia said. Close it. She did not. The operator returned. Judge Reed, your code is confirmed. Judicial Security is activating the Protective Response Protocol. Grant turned at the word judge. Marcus kept his eyes forward. I am not under physical threat. The report includes forced removal, disputed identification, and a security allegation. We will treat the location as unstable until contact is made. Nolan lowered his voice. You never said you were a judge. I showed you. You could have explained. I asked you to verify the card. Grant stepped between Marcus and the screen. This is customer service. No one needs federal involvement. Marcus held the phone away. Did you hear that? Yes, sir. This call is recorded. Grant's face emptied. Marcus returned the phone to his ear. The passenger record was changed after boarding. A printed transaction log may still be near the jet bridge wall. Mia lifted one hand. I saw it fall. Nolan faced her. You dropped company material. I preserved it. You concealed evidence. No, Marcus said. She kept it from disappearing. Cold air moved from a vent. The folded photograph inside Marcus's coat pressed against his ribs. Are surveillance cameras visible? The operator asked. 3. Above the desk, facing the jet bridge, and over the waiting area. Do not let anyone access them. Grant reached toward the keyboard. Mia stepped in front of it. For the first time, his voice softened. Mia, move. She shook her head. The security corridor doors chimed. 2 figures appeared beyond the glass, walking quickly without running. Federal personnel are entering C concourse now, the operator said. Marcus looked at the clock. 8:16 p.m. Then he looked at Grant. Please don't touch the record. The corridor doors opened at 8:16 p.m. Lena Ortiz entered first, rain darkening her coat. Malcolm Price followed with a black document case. They showed identification at the desk. Who is Marcus Reed? Lena asked. Marcus raised one hand. Grant stepped forward. I manage this gate. We've resolved the disturbance. I didn't ask who manages the gate. Malcolm stopped beside Mia's terminal. No one touched the keyboard. Grant's hand froze. Nolan pointed toward Marcus. That passenger refused lawful instructions. Did you witness the beginning? Malcolm asked. I responded to the crew. So no. Wet coats and burnt coffee scented the air. Lena approached Marcus. Judge Reed, are you hurt? No. Were you threatened? With a false report. She nodded. We'll separate everyone and preserve the record. Grant laughed once. You can't shut down an airline system because a passenger is unhappy. Malcolm placed evidence sleeves and a sealed drive on the counter. This is not about unhappiness. He turned to Mia. Step away from your manager. Tell me what you saw. She is my employee, Grant said. For now, she is a witness. Mia moved across the desk. Her chair struck the wall. The seat scanned valid twice, she said. Mr. Hale added a review note. And the reassignment? After Mr. Reed was seated. Grant shook his head. Her interpretation. Where is the transaction log? Malcolm asked. Near the jet bridge wall. I let it fall. Nolan shifted toward the corridor. Stay there, Malcolm said. I'm calling my supervisor. From that chair. Nolan obeyed. A maintenance worker unlocked the bridge. Cold air rolled across the carpet with the metallic smell of rain. Malcolm entered with Mia while Lena remained beside Marcus. What must be preserved? She asked. Gate video, bridge, cabin entrance, internal calls, the original record, the altered record, and the removal report. Lena glanced at Nolan's tablet. That too. Grant folded his arms. The report is routine. It says I threatened staff, Marcus said. You challenged instructions. That is not a threat. The bridge door opened. Malcolm returned holding a narrow strip of paper by one corner. Mia followed, pale but steady. Found it where she said. He slid it into an evidence sleeve. Through the plastic, the timestamp remained visible. 7:36 p.m. Malcolm connected the sealed drive to the terminal. A blue progress bar appeared. Copying the audit log. Claire arrived from operations. She stopped at the federal credentials. Grant pointed at her. Tell them he became confrontational. Claire looked at Marcus, then at the sleeved paper. I need to know what was changed. Claire, Grant warned. She did not turn. The bar crawled across the screen. The printer fan whirred. Rain whispered against the windows. When the copy completed, Malcolm sealed the drive. Lena faced the employees. You will give separate statements. No one discusses this event with anyone else. Grant opened his mouth. She raised one finger. The records are preserved. Marcus released his boarding pass. It lay flat beneath his thumb. Claire stared at the timestamp. That change happened after he was already in 2A, she whispered. Claire stared at the timestamp. That change happened after he was already in 2A, she whispered. Grant turned toward her. You don't know what the system showed before boarding. I know what I scanned. Malcolm removed his glasses. Ms. Voss, did Mr. Reed threaten anyone? Claire's gold pen clicked beneath her thumb. No. Did he refuse to leave? He asked for an explanation. Then he gathered his things. Nolan shifted in the plastic chair. He challenged staff repeatedly. Lena looked at him. Questions are not threats. The word settled over the gate. Grant pointed at Marcus. He concealed his status until after the disruption. Marcus slid his identification wallet onto the counter. I showed this before the report was written. You never said what kind of judge you were. I should not have needed a title to make a valid ticket valid. Malcolm's phone vibrated. He answered, listened, then faced Marcus. Your judicial code has been authenticated. The protective response is active, Your Honor. Ruth lowered her phone. Mia covered her mouth with her ink-stained hand. Claire's pen stopped clicking. Nolan looked at the floor. Grant gave a breathless laugh. You're bringing federal agents over a seat assignment? No, Lena said. We came because a federal judge reported forced removal, a false security allegation, and possible alteration of records. Marcus folded the boarding pass along its oldest crease. And because your office is required to respond, Malcolm opened the preserved log. Original seat, 2A. Boarding scan, 731. Manual reassignment, 736. Cancellation, 739. Mia whispered. I told him. Grant's face tightened. The flight needed to close. The aircraft left at 7:58, Malcolm said. You had 19 minutes. Claire looked at Marcus. We could have resolved it. Yes, he said. Her shoulders lowered. Lena asked, do you want the aircraft recalled? Marcus looked through the rain-streaked glass. The plane was already beyond the field lights. No. We can arrange federal transport. My daughter is speaking in less than 3 hours. We may still get you there. He checked Ava's last message. A photograph showed a white card on an empty chair, reserved for Dad. His thumb rested on the screen. Try, he said. Grant stepped closer. Judge Reed, had we known... Marcus raised his eyes. That is the problem. No one answered. He placed the phone face down. I want every statement preserved, he said. Not only mine, Ms. Benton's, Ms. Voss's, the passengers who recorded, and every complaint involving a seat removed after a valid scan. Grant's expression changed. This was one incident. Then the records will show that. Malcolm closed the audit window. We'll need prior complaints. Claire swallowed. There have been others. Grant snapped toward her. Stop talking. Lena stepped between them. She has started. Across the glass, Ruth rose from her seat as the cabin door reopened. One by one, passengers began filing into the terminal. Marcus watched them return, then looked at the empty chair on Ava's screen. The truth had reached the gate. He still had not reached his daughter. At 8:42 p.m., the returned passengers were moved to an unused lounge across from Gate C-14. A woman in a navy jacket entered with 2 sealed folders. Dana Wells, Federal Transportation Inspector. She was 41, compact, with silver glasses on a cord. No one deletes or edits anything. Behind her came Sophia Park, 39, the airline's compliance director. Grant stood. This is being exaggerated. Dana set down a folder. Then the records will show that. Eli connected his phone to Malcolm's laptop. The video began with Marcus seated in 2A. Grant's voice followed. Then correct it. Sophia stopped the playback. Who authorized a manual reassignment after boarding? Operational necessity, Grant said. Which policy? He looked toward Claire. Dana did not. Ms. Voss? Claire touched the gold pen on her vest. I never saw one. Marcus sat near the window with his briefcase between his shoes. The photograph inside his coat pressed against his ribs. Malcolm placed the audit log beside the video. Green scan at 7:31. Reassignment at 7:36. Cancellation at 7:39. Removal report at 7:46. Donna tapped the screen. The report says threatening language. The recording contains none. Nolan folded his hands. Tone matters. Describe it. He was persistent. Persistent is not threatening. Ruth's bracelet struck the table. I should have spoken sooner, she said. Dana turned to Sophia. Show me prior complaints involving valid tickets, forced reseating, or removal after successful scans. Sophia opened the database. Those categories aren't linked. Search the narratives. A retired teacher removed after asking for written confirmation. A nurse told her ticket was under review after boarding. A contractor marked disruptive after refusing to surrender a scanned seat. How many? Marcus asked. Sophia widened the search to 2 years. 17. Dana projected the results onto the wall. 11 involved manual seat changes. 9 used passenger became confrontational. 6 were closed as misunderstandings. Different departments handled these, Sophia whispered. So no one compared them, Dana said. Grant pushed back his chair. Complaints prove nothing. Mia tightened both hands around a paper cup. Did all 17 have valid scans? Sophia opened the files. Her face changed at the 5th. Yes. How many were asked to prove payment again? Claire asked. 14. A cold draft moved under the lounge door. Somewhere beyond the wall, a luggage cart rattled over tile. Dana opened the second folder. I'm issuing a preservation order covering seat logs, gate audio, internal calls, removal reports, and complaint closures for 24 months. Sophia nodded. I'll cooperate. You need executive approval, Grant said. I am the approval for compliance holds. His chair scraped as he rose. Lena stepped closer. Sit down. He did. Donna highlighted all 17 cases. This is no longer a dispute over one seat. Marcus checked his phone. Ava's ceremony stream had begun. On the silent screen, she approached the podium beneath Camilla's name. He turned the phone face down. Across the wall, 17 timestamps glowed, each marking someone who had not known which number to call. The hearing began at 9:18 p.m. behind operations. A vent rattled above the table. Burnt coffee hung in the air. Dana Wells lined up 17 complaint files and switched on the recorder. State your name. Ruth Delaney. Ruth held an unopened statement. The paper trembled against her ring. Fluorescent light flattened every face, and the cold tabletop left pale marks beneath her wrists. When did you first notice a problem? Dana asked. At the priority counter. His pass scanned green twice. Mine scanned once. Why did you say nothing? I told myself the staff knew something I didn't. Did you believe that? No. The vent clicked off. I saw the manager cover the screen. I saw Mia try to speak. I still boarded. Ruth pressed the statement flat. When his photograph fell, I stood halfway up. Then I sat back down. Marcus said nothing. I chose my flight over the truth, she whispered. You are here now, he said. That does not put you in the front row. Eli Harper took the next chair and unlocked his phone. I have the complete recording. Grant leaned forward. This is becoming theater. Dana raised one finger. The video filled the wall. Claire demanding the pass again. Grant promising 2A to another customer. Mia saying the seat was valid. Nolan calling Marcus confrontational, though Marcus never raised his voice. Then the photograph struck the aisle. Ruth closed her eyes. Eli let the footage continue. Grant folded the transaction log. Mia dropped a second copy near the jet bridge. Nolan dictated threatening posture into his tablet while Marcus was already walking away. "That was my assessment," Nolan said. "You wrote it before speaking to him," Dana replied. "He refused direction. He was leaving." Nolan's chair scraped backward. Mia sat next. Blue ink still marked her knuckles. "Who changed seat 2A?" Dana asked. "Mr. Hale." "Did the system require it?" "No." "Did you warn him?" "Yes." Grant cut in. She was confused. Mia turned toward him. "You told me to code him disruptive. I told you to choose the proper category. You gave me the exact word." Sophia opened the audit screen. "The keystroke log supports Ms. Benton." Grant's mouth tightened. Claire came last. She removed the gold pen from her vest and placed it on the table. "Why did you ask Mr. Reed to move?" Dana asked. "Mr. Hale said a priority customer had been promised the seat." "Did you compare that promise with Mr. Reed's valid ticket?" "No." "Why?" Claire stared at the pen. One man arrived expecting to be accommodated. The other was alone, quiet, and easier to move. Marcus folded his hands over the briefcase. "I trusted status, confidence, and a manager's tone more than the documents in front of me." Dana switched off the recorder. Outside, a printer began feeding pages in a steady rhythm. Sophia gathered the statements. "Executive review starts tonight." Grant stood. "I need counsel." Lena opened the door. "Remain available." He passed Marcus without speaking. Claire stayed seated, her pen untouched between them. "May I apologize?" she asked. Marcus looked at his silent phone. Ava's ceremony had ended 20 minutes earlier. "You may tell the truth first," he said. At 10:06 p.m., Sophia Park returned with 3 envelopes. Rain hissed against the cold window. The air smelled of wet wool and stale coffee. "Mr. Hale," Sophia said, "your employment is terminated effective immediately." "On whose authority?" "Mine, supported by the audit log, witness statements, and your alteration of a passenger record. I protected an on-time departure. You created the conflict and approved a false report." Grant looked at Marcus. This would not have happened if he had identified himself properly. "I identified myself as the passenger assigned to 2A." Sophia slid the envelope across the table. Lena opened the door. "You may collect personal items under supervision." His chair struck the floor. Then he left. Sophia turned to Nolan. "Your company's airport contract is suspended. Your report describes threats that appear in no recording." "I relied on airline staff." "You wrote threatening posture before speaking to him," Dana said. "I made a judgment call." "And documented fiction as fact." Nolan removed his badge. It clicked against the wood and spun once. Sophia gave her the 3rd envelope. "You are suspended without pay. Final discipline depends on your cooperation." Claire accepted it. "I understand." At 10:31, the others left. Claire remained by the wall, still in uniform, her envelope bending between both hands. "Your Honor," she began. "Mr. Reed is fine." She nodded. "Mr. Reed, I am sorry. I checked your ticket twice. I knew it was valid. I still asked you to move because Grant sounded certain and the other passenger expected to be obeyed." Marcus said nothing. "I told myself it was about loyalty status. Then I said you were delaying us. Each explanation came after the decision. I helped take something from you." Marcus opened his phone. "My daughter's ceremony was streamed." He placed it between them and pressed play. Ava walked to the podium beneath Camilla Reed's name. The microphone gave a burst of static. In the front row, one chair remained empty. A white card rested against its back. "Reserved for Dad." Claire covered her mouth. Ava paused before reading. Her eyes moved to the empty chair, then returned to the page. Marcus stopped the video. "That is what your decision cost." I know. No, you can see it. That is not the same as carrying it. Claire nodded, tears held, but not falling. I don't expect forgiveness. Good. I accept that you are telling the truth now. Your statement may help the people whose complaints were buried. But not my apology. An apology cannot return a missed moment. She looked toward the dark window. What can I do? Do not reduce this to one manager. You scanned the pass. You saw the facts. You chose the easier person to move. I will say that in the hearing. Say it when it costs you something. She picked up her envelope and walked to the door. Before leaving, she placed the gold pen beside the untouched coffee. Marcus remained alone. He replayed the ceremony without sound. When Ava reached the podium, he touched the empty chair on the screen. Then a message appeared from her. Did you make it? His thumb hovered over the answer. Marcus typed 3 words beneath Ava's message. No. I'm sorry. Her reply came at once. Call me when you can. At 10:44 p.m., Sophia returned with a draft statement. The company wants to announce a full review tonight. Marcus read the first paragraph. His name appeared 6 times. You call me a distinguished federal judge. That establishes the seriousness. It establishes that you acted because of who I am. Sophia sat across from him. Cold air moved over the untouched coffee. We also want you in a training video. No. It could reassure passengers. Then change the rules first. He tapped a sentence on her tablet. Managers may reassign seats when operational judgment requires it. Remove this. That language gives staff flexibility. It gave Mr. Hale permission to invent facts. Dana Wells entered carrying the 17 complaint files. Any occupied seat change needs a second verifier and an automatic audit trail. Sophia rubbed her forehead. That will slow boarding. So did tonight, Marcus said. By midnight, 4 pages covered the table. Mia joined them, blue ink still marking her knuckles. What happens before someone is removed? Marcus asked. Mia read from the draft. The customer receives a written reason. And if the reason is disputed? A second supervisor reviews the scan history. Not from the same chain of command, Dana said. Sophia typed. Independent duty manager. Marcus pointed to another line. All related video, calls, and record changes preserved automatically. For how long? 2 years, Dana said. Sophia shook her head. Storage costs. 17 people paid more, Mia said. The room went quiet. Marcus looked at her. Use that in training. At 12:27 a.m., Ava answered from a hallway outside the banquet room. Music and silverware clinked behind her. I watched the recording, he said. You saw Mom's chair? I saw yours too. She breathed out. Are you coming tomorrow? Yes. Good. I'm still angry. You should be. That answer stopped her. What happened? They decided my ticket mattered less than someone else's expectation. And now? They're writing rules they should have had before. Ava was quiet. Don't let them name the rules after you. I won't. 3 weeks later, the revised policy filled a conference room screen. The phrase at manager discretion was gone. 4 steps replaced it. Verify the original scan, obtain independent review, provide a written reason, preserve every record. Claire attended by video from retraining. Nolan's company remained suspended pending an external audit. Grant had appealed his dismissal and lost. Sophia opened without mentioning Marcus's title. Mia led the first exercise. Valid ticket, she told the trainees. Conflicting promise. What do you do? A manager raised his hand. Move the quieter passenger. No one laughed. Mia waited. Check the facts, he corrected. Marcus sat at the back, his coat folded beside the worn briefcase. The first policy draft lay before him. He crossed out its last surviving phrase, "whenever practical," and wrote only after verification. Sophia read the change, then nodded. For once, the record changed before a passenger had to suffer for it. 4 months later, Marcus returned to Calder International with Ava beside him. Morning light spilled across the terminal floor after the storm. His charcoal coat was folded over one arm, the worn oxblood briefcase in his other hand. Ava carried 2 coffees and Camilla's scholarship ceremony program. "Front row again?" Marcus asked. 2 seats this time, she said. No excuses. At the priority counter, a young agent scanned both passes. Marcus's screen flashed amber. Ava went still. The agent did not reach for a manager. She turned the monitor so they could see it. "Duplicate seat assignment," she said. "Give me 1 minute." She opened the original scan history, called an independent duty supervisor, and printed a written notice before either passenger was asked to move. The supervisor arrived, checked the audit trail, and corrected the duplicate. "Seats 2A and 2B are confirmed." She never looked twice at Marcus's identification. She never recognized him. Outside, service carts crossed the pavement. Marcus ran one thumb along the edge of his boarding pass. "That was different," Ava said. "It was supposed to be." 2 weeks earlier, the airline had published its first public review. 17 closed complaints had been reopened. 6 passengers received apologies and compensation. 3 removal reports were corrected. Every manual seat change now created an automatic record, and every removal required independent review, written reasons, and preserved video. Mia Benton had been promoted into compliance training. In her first session, she placed a green boarding scan beside an amber manager note and asked which one mattered. "The verified fact," the trainees answered. Ruth Delaney volunteered with a passenger advocacy group and wrote Marcus a letter. She did not ask to be forgiven. She wrote that she had learned how expensive silence could become. Eli Harper's recording remained part of the training archive. Dana Wells continued the federal review, while Sophia Park issued quarterly reports that listed failures instead of hiding them under customer service language. Grant Hale's dismissal was upheld after appeal. Nolan Briggs lost his supervisory role when the audit found 3 other reports that overstated passenger behavior. Claire Voss completed retraining and returned in a non-lead position. Her final statement was used in every class. "I trusted confidence more than evidence." At the gate, Marcus opened the briefcase. Camilla's photograph rested inside the journal, its lower corner still marked by the suitcase wheel. Ava touched the crease. "You kept it like that?" "Yes." "Why?" "So I don't confuse repair with erasing." She considered that, then slid the photograph between their 2 boarding passes. When boarding began, the agent greeted them without ceremony. "Mr. Reed, Miss Reed, you're cleared." They walked down the jet bridge together. The air smelled of coffee, rain, and warm metal. No one stepped in front of Marcus. No one asked him to prove more than the ticket already had. Inside the cabin, Ava took the window seat and placed Camilla's photograph on the small table between them. "You made it," she said. Marcus fastened his belt. This time. The plane lifted through a thin layer of cloud. Sunlight opened across the wing, and the old photograph lay between 2 valid seats. If you have ever watched someone's valid explanation get ignored, or found yourself staying silent when you knew something was wrong, share your experience in the comments. Your story may help another person recognize the moment when a quiet question deserves support instead of suspicion. Share this story with someone who believes dignity should never depend on a title, a uniform, a ticket, or the power to make one phone call. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, accountability, and the difficult work of changing systems after the truth comes out. And remember Marcus's question: what happens to the next person who has no special number to call? Sometimes change begins when one witness decides not to look away.